Hello, everybody. Nice to welcome you all on board. And I was wondering if you are ready for some really interesting information. Well, today we're going to be speaking about the amazing ELLEGOSSE framework. And who better to actually join us today than Dr. Harbeen Arora Rai herself? Um, Dr. Harbeen, welcome to the call. And how are you today?
I'm very well, sister. Thank you for this opportunity.
You're very welcome. It's actually great that we have you with us. Dr. Harbeen, as everyone knows, is the founder of G100, of WICCI, of SHECONOMY, of so many amazing brands. And she is here today to actually enlighten us on what Eligos is. So, my first question to you, Dr. Harbeen, is what inspired you to actually look at Eligos as actually being a model? What is Eligos to you? What does it mean to you?
Sister, from the time we started, I think we've been inspired by this idea of one in all and all in one. Our first platform is actually called the All Ladies League,
All
which
really.
acronyms to all. And
Mm.
then we started the first tradition of Shakti Bandhan, which
Yes.
is about all of us. All these beads are all, but there is one underlying thread
Mm.
for all. So I think it is this constant dynamic between whenever we are all trying to find the
Mm.
one which
Mm.
unites us,
Mm.
and whenever we are one trying to find the diversity that can come out of this oneness and the multiple ways that this oneness converges, has a conversation with itself, and new innovative possibilities, what we call diversity, comes out through the creativity, through the interactions, and constantly we are trying to find the one in the many and the many in the one. And the Elagos was a contemplation. I still remember I was in a flight going from, I'm quite often in a flight. In this flight, I think it was part of our meetings when we started the G100 framework, we said 100 meetings. Everything was 100, 100 global shares, 100 commitments, and all of that. And we were on way to some meeting, must have been I don't know, and in before 2022, because 2022 we launched that. So a year into our meetings, and so much of the many starts coming to you. You're going to Geneva, you're going to Netherlands, you're going to India, you're going to wherever, and the many starts coming at you. Of course, it
Mm.
was coming at us when we were doing, but we were now very intentional. We are now very focused. We are looking at not just G1, not one global chair, which was just myself earlier, but one multiplied into the 100, 100 global shares. So whatever I was doing is happening 100 times more. So there's a lot of
Mm.
many, many coming. So
Mm.
Elgos was my tentative to find what unites us in the oneness in the manyness. And the Elagos was like, whatever we may be doing, what is it that is common to all that we are talking about? What is the common denominator that underpins and anchors all that we are passionate about
Mm.
across
Mm.
the world, in whatever discipline we may be, whatever age we may be? And it came down to this alphabet that we beautifully call the Elagos. And that was a journey to share, to propose, and it found resonance with everybody else. And this became our A to Z. The
Mm.
Elagos, the 10 letters, our alphabet. But just like in any alphabet, it's just A to Z in English, but the stories are many, the expressions are many, the articulations are many, because when that alphabet interacts with the individual who is situated in a context, in a country, whatever, as something unique comes out. And so the Elgos framework is not an instruction, it is an inspiration to create as many stories using the alphabet of Elgos.
Wonderful. But I have another question, and it's nice for us to actually have that conversation. Is like, so what does Eligos actually mean? Where did that word come from? I'd
So
love for
I've
people to
I
know.
yeah, so when I was young, a child, I had, I would always remember mnemonics. So, for example, if I don't know if you had the same mnemonic when mathematics was being taught, when we had to solve equations, we were given the BODMAS rule, which means
Yeah.
brackets of division, multiplication, addition, subtract. So this is the way you solve an equation. This is the order in which. So BODMAS became your, if you had to walk uphill, it became your walking stick. Like, okay, this is the tool you use to solve something. So I was a great fan of mnemonics because it would help you remember very, very big essays and I would just make my own mnemonics. So I would make, let's say, if I had a question, which are the top 10 countries with cocoa as the major producer? So I would do a mnemonic, whatever that mnemonic had to mean something, not mean. But if that question came, then I would just tap into that mnemonic and say, okay, these were these 10 things. For example, if the mnemonic was cocoa itself, though, what is the C country or Colombia or whatever? And I would sort of, so it became a key for me to unlock, a lot with a little bit. So there's a lot that's happening. So Elagos is like, what do you all do? Well, in a nutshell, this is the seed of what we do. But you plant this seed anywhere and you nurture the seed anywhere, something good fruits and flowers are going to come out from this seed. But it's a way to hold. You can you when you need a cup to drink a cup of water, there is a lot of water coming from the waterfalls, there's a lot of water in the rivers, but you need something to hold, a form that can hold all that when you need to interact with it, when you need to consume it, when you need to partake of it, you need some form. So Elagos became our form to hold that so that we can interact, just to hold all that was happening and access it and connect with it and interact with it and make it our own, take it and then do whatever when we are energized with it, create something out of it. So it became, who are we in a nutshell? That's what we are about.
Cool. And the word Eligos, I believe it's French, and you are extremely well versed with French. So would you care to tell us what Ellie and what Gosse is?
Yeah, so when I was trying to find the mnemonic, it's always nice if the mnemonic also means something. It could be
Something.
random like BODMAS, which is just a mnemonic, but you always try to find layers of meaning. And this, when I was putting the education legislation, when I was moving them around and saying, okay, what can I get out of them? I was doing a bit of scrabble with those letters and trying to find words. And so L and Goss appeared with an extra S in the Goss. But L, of course, many people would know it means, refers to woman, la femme, elle, it represents the feminine, the female. And Gus, I would hear as when I was in France, I was doing my PhD there. So a lot of time in immersion in the French culture. And so it's des garçons, the boys, des filles, the girls. But just as a slang, it was des gosses. It was like the children. It's a slang. It was a colloquial word for des gosses with the GOSSES. And so it's just a play on the goss. It sounds the same. So French is very much about the sound. So as long as it sounds the same, I can get in that one extra S as well. That's fine. And so L means women, woman, and goss means children. And so whatever we are doing is, L is woman, the agency of women, which is what we are empowering across all our platforms, bringing that agency out with confidence and boldness finding that confidence in ourselves and boldness through the collective power. And Goss also represents the future because children are the future. So the present of us with our confidence and finding each other and working together to co-create and build a future that is beneficial for everyone.
Everyone. Well, thank you for that. It's very inspiring to hear. It's always lovely to hear the story behind the creation. And I think it's a beautiful thing to look at. Dr. Arbeen, would you just like to let everyone also know what are the acronym? What does it represent? So we have the E, for education, and what else do we
The
have?
Yes, the L for leadership, another L for legislation, another E for empowerment, the O for ownership, and the SSS are for security, solidarity, sustainability, and the final E is for equality.
Wonderful. So we
And
have it
under
there.
each
We
of
have
the 10 principles, yes, and under each of these 10 principles are further 10 recommendations, and all of them are like 100,
all together.
resonating with the 100 altogether, the 100 recommendations from the G100.
That's wonderful. So again, ladies and gentlemen, we have E stands for education, L for legislation, leadership, empowerment, governance, ownership. We have security, solidarity, sustainability, and equality. And there's a lot of information around that we're sharing on our endorsement wing, the Eligos endorsement wing that we have on LinkedIn and other things. But now we come to the part where what do we hope to achieve by having the Eligos framework shared and people, organizations, and NGOs actually adopting it, Dr. Harbeen? Why do we have the endorsement wing? What are we here to do differently?
I think it's really about becoming intentional about as we, with our experience, have been able to articulate these 10 principles as the pathway, like you beautifully say, to bridge all kinds of gaps that we see in society. And that can be done through the agency of women leaders in our network, through the agency of men, the he for she champions in the denim club in our network,
Mhm.
and wherever we are as country chairs, as city chairs, as advisory members, as global chairs. There is such a beautiful structure to a mission million, and the intention is to have a million gender champions through the blueprint, the quantitative blueprint of the G100, and have that as the qualitative essence, inspiring, enabling, awakening all of us into, oh, what can I do? Oh, that's an interesting thought which is mentioned in the Elgos. Let me adopt one, two, even fractionally, partially, or holistically everything, and adopt it or endorse it and say, yes, I believe in this alphabet, I believe in this vocabulary, I believe in the ideas presented in the Elagos, and I would like to work on one or two or three or all of these points, in whether I am in my workplace, in my homes, in my communities, in my neighborhoods, or just become an advocate of them, talking about these, being in resonance with these, whatever I think, I write, I say, I speak, I do, I teach, in whatever form possibly, I can embrace the Elagos.
Which is beautifully put. And the one thing that I would like to add to that, being fortunate enough to be the global chair for the Eligos endorsement wing, is I love the idea that we can take any of those principles because those principles resonate with us. We can take one, we can take three, we can take all. But take the principles that resonate with you, bring them into what it is that you're doing in your work, whether you're an NGO, you're a corporate, or you are in a community or university. But if those principles resonate with you, use them. The other thing that I love about what it is and the approach that you have created for all of us to actually look at is the fact that we can take any of these principles and adapt them to what we already have. And this thing about one size fits all, I appreciate how you have gone into the depth of looking at the Ergos principles and how we actually created it and rewrote the whole thing in 2025, where you did the heavy lifting, quite honestly, Dr. Harbeen. But I think the brilliance of the whole thing is that you take it, you adopt it, because we believe, again, that one size does not fit all. And we recognize that. Okay. The second thing that I love about the whole thing is that you take it, you adopt it, use it, we also recognize the fact that all 10 recommendations may not serve you. So take from this, that's why we've got 10 recommendations for each of those principles, right? So you take any of them, use them, adapt to them, use them into a way that it actually resonates with what your business is wanting to achieve or your community is wanting to achieve. And that's why I think it is such a brilliant document to be able to take on, adopt, create, co create, endorse, and actually have fun with it because we're not here to fix anybody. I think Dr. Arvind knows that perfectly well. And your operating system is we're not here to fix anybody because we truly believe no one is broken. What we are here to is to enhance and enable, encourage, and also to look at how it is that we can empower us all to have a future that is going to be prosperous for each and every one on the planet. And the way that I love what you have said in the very start. We and the people from our generation may not be around to experience the shift and the change, but I think the Ellegos principles will actually outlive us and create a future where all of us can prosper. Dr. Harbeen, any last words for our viewers who are going to be inspired by what it is you've shared?
Sister, I just wanted to add a bit on the Elagos endorsement you chair
Yes.
as global chair for the wing, and we are, and you had your question around that. I think what the endorsement also does is, of course, we reach out to people and say, please endorse, as you very beautifully elaborated and explained. But what the endorsement will do for all of us is it creates an embodiment of the
Yeah.
principle in a certain context, in a certain culture, and speaks back to us. And that's why, like you said, we regularly update the Elagos document as well. It's not frozen in time. It's evolving every year with us, with everybody who adopts it, endorses it, acts upon it, and our collective consciousness grows with it. And it comes back to us, either directly people sharing with us, or you see things around you, and your collective consciousness is growing as we are talking to each other. And it's like we talk to ourselves in the present version compared to what we were in the past version, and there's already an expansion. Like you
Mm,
beautifully said, we had a 2022 version, then we updated it into the Elagos 100 recommendations into 2025.
mhm,
Already, even without the formal endorsement, which started later, we had already informally started endorsing it. We would started talking about it. There was work happening, and so it started working on us, our psyche as well, and it gave us lenses and a vision to see the world through those lenses and find more things, more fine tuning. It's like an artist working on a sculpture, and you work
giving shape to it.
for some days,
Exactly.
yes, giving shape to it, and then you take off for a while, and then you ruminate, you let it kind of go into you, talk
That's how
back
it's going
to
to.
you, and then you come back to it with, and you've already carried the embodiment of
Mm.
that version in that time in your heart. And then when you work on it another time in another round, you're working with that first embodiment. It's part of the evolution. The first part doesn't go away, but it is digested, it is assimilated, and it generates more energy for us to imagine with greater vision. Just that.
Wonderful. I have the last question for you, Dr. Harbeen, and it is also to share why do you think it is important for organizations, corporates, banks, universities, colleges, NGOs to even consider looking at the Ellegos uh, to make it somewhat of an invitation for them to actually look at it and go, that's something interesting to look at. I know we've been very fortunate that we have got a, a multinational university that's already endorsing us. We've got other international organizations. But from your aspect, what do you think that is going to be able to shift and change if the NGOs and the corporates, you know, would actually consider looking at it as an invitation to create a different possibility in the way that they operate.
I see it as a nutritional supplement, you know. It energizes you. It's not just about gender equality because or even diversity. It's really about participating in reimagining our future as we would like to bequeath it to our children. And women
Right.
are very integral agents to making this change. And I don't need to get about why it's required to bring women into the public space and all of that. But I think everybody sees a better future for themselves. And whenever you share about the Elagos, like you beautifully shared one day, people are like, yes, but I already believe in what you're talking about,
Exactly.
education.
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
already, so I think we've articulated certain things that, you know, people do
Already.
believe in
al-
already. That's what they do for their children. That's what they're wanting. And here they find a collective space where we have all come together in the service of enhancing these principles so that nobody feels tied down, or everybody feels enabled and empowered more in and in whatever context, whatever culture they are in. Anybody can take anything from it and get better, be better, not just by the information or the inspiration in it, but also finding a collective with which to work, because there could be ideas here where you individually resonate with, but you
Mm,
may not find the power in yourself to individually really lift that whole mountain yourself.
mhm,
But if
mhm,
you have the force of a
mhm.
million women from across the world who also
Behind you.
resonate with you,
Mm.
you find the power. I always say, if you have a big rock to move, and if I cannot push it with one hand, but then 100 other hands come along with me, then we can push it.
Brilliant. Wonderful. The other thing that I'd also like to share here, I think, is as a result of the amazing expansiveness of all the work that you have done for so many years and held the light for all of us to be inspired and moved and actually to take action, be it All Ladies League, be it WICCI, be it SHECONOMY. We have Mother's Army now as well, which is really cool. There's so many things that you have been inspired to do, and we all are very grateful for your presence and actually taking these things forward for us. Before we sign off, I would like to personally thank you for giving us all, everyone in G100, in Wiki, in Sheconomy, in All Ladies League, giving us, the mantle to actually take and to go forward. It's really commendable that what you have been able to do, and also Mr. Vinay, who supports you. And this is what I love about the whole embodiment. This is embodiment in action. When we have the gentlemen as our denim club partners and us as global chairs, and everyone is supported by amazing men who hold our back and actually champion us in the work that we're doing. So, tremendous gratitude, Dr. Harbeen. Thank you for spending the time with us. Ladies and gentlemen, we were having a discussion with the founder of G100, of All Ladies League, of Wiki, of Sheconomy, and of Mother's Army, Dr. Harbeen Arora Rai. Thank you very much for spending time with us, and we honor and respect and love you. God bless you always. Thank you.